Welcome back everyone. I hope you are doing amazing today. If you love jaw-dropping talent, unbelievable discipline, and moments that make the judges sit in complete silence, then you are in the right place. Today's video is one of those rare performances that doesn't just entertain you, it leaves you stunned, inspired, and honestly questioning how far the human body and mind can be pushed. What you are about to witness is an epic kung fu demonstration that took the America's Got Talent 2021 stage by absolute storm. As the lights come up and the audience settles into their seats, there is already a sense that something different is about to happen. America's Got Talent has seen singers, dancers, magicians, comedians, and daredevils, but every once in a while, a performance comes along that doesn't fit neatly into any category. This was one of those moments. A lone performer walks onto the stage, calm, focused, and completely centered. No flashy costume, no dramatic music at first, just quiet confidence. From the very first second, you can tell this person is not here to impress with words, but with action. Kung Fu is not just about fighting. It is a centuries-old discipline built on balance, control, patience, and respect. Many people think of Kung Fu as something from movies, with exaggerated moves and cinematic effects, but what happens on this stage is very real. This is the result of years, sometimes decades, of training. Every muscle, every breath, every movement has a purpose. And as the performance begins, that truth becomes crystal clear. The first movements are slow and deliberate. The performer lowers into a stance that looks almost impossible to hold. The legs are bent deeply, the back is straight, and the arms move with precision. Even in silence, the audience is hooked. There is something hypnotic about watching someone who has complete control over their body. You can feel the tension in the room as people lean forward, trying not to miss a single detail. Then the pace changes. The calm transitions into explosive speed. In a split second, the performer launches into a series of kicks, spins, and strikes that seem almost superhuman. The sound of air being sliced by fast-moving limbs echoes across the theater. Each kick stops exactly where it should, each punch snaps back with perfect control. This is not chaos. This is mastery. What makes this demonstration truly epic is not just the difficulty of the moves, but the way they are performed with such confidence and calm. There is no sign of panic, no hesitation. Even the most dangerous techniques are executed with a peaceful expression, as if the performer is completely in tune with every motion. The judges' faces say it all. Eyes wide, mouths slightly open, they are witnessing something far beyond ordinary talent. As the routine continues, the performer introduces traditional kung fu weapons. A long staff spins through the air, moving so fast it almost disappears. The transitions between empty hand techniques and weapon forms are flawless. One moment the staff is twirling around the body, the next it is being launched into the air, caught behind the back, and brought down into a powerful stance. Every movement is sharp, clean, and intentional. The audience erupts into applause, but the performer does not react. Total focus remains. That level of concentration is rare, especially on a stage this big, with cameras, judges, and millions watching from home. It shows the mental strength behind the physical skill. Kung Fu is as much about the mind as it is about the body, and this performance proves it. Then comes one of the most unforgettable moments of the entire act. The performer sets up for a demonstration of control that borders on unbelievable. With a deep breath, they prepare for a sequence that requires perfect timing and absolute trust in their own ability. A powerful strike is delivered with full force, stopping just inches from a solid object. No damage, no mistake, just precision. The crowd gasps. This is not something you practice once or twice. This is the result of countless hours of disciplined training. At this point, even the judges are visibly shaken. One of them leans forward, another shakes their head in disbelief. You can see the respect forming. This is not just entertainment anymore. This is art. This is tradition. This is a living example of what dedication can achieve. As the music builds, the performance reaches its peak. Faster movements, higher jumps, more complex combinations. The performer seems to defy gravity, spinning and landing with perfect balance every single time. There is no wasted motion. Every step flows into the next like water. The stage feels too small to contain this level of energy. What makes this act stand out on America's Got Talent is that it tells a story without words. You can feel the journey behind the performance. The early mornings, the sore muscles, the discipline, the failures, and the perseverance. All of that is present in every move. This is not just about showing off skills. It is about honoring a tradition and sharing it with the world. As the final pose is struck, there is a brief moment of silence. That split second where everyone needs to process what they have just seen. And then the theater explodes. A standing ovation. Cheers echoing from every corner. The performer finally relaxes, a small smile appearing, knowing they have given everything they had. The judges rise to their feet, clapping with genuine admiration. When they speak, their words are filled with respect. They talk about discipline, control, and how rare it is to see something so authentic and powerful on this stage. One judge mentions that this is the kind of performance that reminds everyone why this show exists. To discover talent that goes beyond trends and touches something deeper. What makes this kung fu demonstration even more special is the message behind it. In a world obsessed with shortcuts and instant results, this performance is a reminder that true mastery takes time. Years of repetition, patience, and self-control. It shows that real strength is not about aggression, but about balance and discipline. For many viewers watching at home, this moment became more than just a performance. It became inspiration. Kids seeing it for the first time, adults remembering their own dreams, martial artists feeling proud to see their art represented on such a huge stage. That is the power of moments like this. America's Got Talent has a long history of unforgettable acts, but this epic kung fu demonstration carved out its own place. It wasn't loud in the traditional sense. It didn't rely on special effects. It relied on skill, respect, and human potential. And that is why it will be remembered. As the performer leaves the stage, the energy in the room lingers. People are still talking, still replaying the moves in their minds. The judges exchange looks that say they know they've witnessed something truly special. This is the kind of act that raises the bar, not just for martial arts, but for the entire competition. Moments like this remind us that talent comes in many forms. Sometimes it sings, sometimes it dances, and sometimes it stands silently before exploding into motion with the force of years of dedication. This kung fu demonstration was not just epic. It was meaningful. If you ever needed proof that hard work and discipline can take you to the biggest stages in the world, this performance is it. One person, one art form, and one unforgettable moment that left millions speechless. As the excitement from the performance continues to ripple through the theater, it becomes clear that this moment is not fading anytime soon. Even after the applause settles, there is a lingering sense of awe in the air. People are still trying to understand how what they just witnessed was even possible. This is the kind of performance that doesn't end when the music stops. It stays with you. The judges finally gather themselves and begin to speak, but their words come slowly, as if they are still processing everything. One of them talks about how rare it is to see such deep discipline on a modern talent stage. Another mentions that this wasn't just a show of strength, but a show of character. They point out the control, the patience, and the respect shown throughout the act. There is no exaggeration in their praise. It feels genuine, earned, and deeply respectful. The performer listens quietly, head slightly bowed, showing humility that matches the discipline of the art itself. This humility is something that stands out just as much as the physical skill. In a competition filled with big personalities and dramatic reactions, this calm presence feels refreshing. It reminds everyone that confidence doesn't need to be loud. As the conversation continues, the judges ask about the journey behind the performance. The response is simple but powerful. Years of training, long days, repetition, failure, getting back up. The kind of journey that most people never see. And that is what makes this moment so meaningful. This is not overnight success. This is a lifetime of commitment coming together on one stage. The audience reacts strongly to this honesty. People clap not just for the performance, but for the story behind it. Many in the crowd can relate in their own way. Maybe not through kung fu, but through their own struggles, passions, and dreams. That connection is what turns a great performance into a memorable one. What truly separates this act from others is how it changes the atmosphere of the show. After this performance, everything feels different. The bar has been raised. Other contestants now have something powerful to live up to. Not because they need to copy the style, but because they've seen what true dedication looks like. Backstage, the reactions are just as intense. Fellow contestants watch in silence, some with admiration, some with disbelief, and some with pure inspiration. For many of them, this is a reminder of why they came to this stage in the first place. Not just to win, but to share something real. At home, viewers replay clips, slow down the movements, and share the performance across social media. Comments pour in from around the world. Martial artists praising the technique. Casual viewers amazed by the control. Parents showing the video to their kids. This single performance begins to live far beyond the stage it was performed on. People start talking about kung fu differently after this. Not as something fictional or exaggerated, but as a real discipline that demands respect. The performance opens eyes. It teaches without preaching. It inspires without forcing. And that is rare. As the competition moves forward, the memory of this act remains strong. Judges reference it in later episodes. Fans bring it up in discussions. It becomes one of those moments that defines a season. The kind of performance people remember years later and say, "Do you remember that Kung Fu act from America's Got Talent 2021? What makes it even more powerful is that there was no trickery involved. No camera angles to hide mistakes. No shortcuts. Just raw skill, tradition, and discipline. In a world full of fast entertainment, this performance slowed everything down and demanded attention. The performer's journey doesn't end here. Opportunities begin to open. Invitations, interviews, recognition from communities that truly understand the art. But no matter where the path leads, this moment on the AGT stage will always stand as a turning point. This performance reminds us that talent shows are not just about winning trophies. They are about moments. Moments that inspire, challenge, and move us. And this was one of those moments. If there is one lesson to take from this epic Kung Fu demonstration, it is this. True power comes from control. True confidence comes from preparation. And true greatness comes from years of quiet work that no one applauds, until one day, the whole world does. Thank you for staying with this story. Performances like this deserve to be remembered, shared, and appreciated. If this moment inspired you even a little, then it has already achieved something incredible. Stay inspired, stay disciplined, and never stop believing in the power of dedication.